Hey, what is going on? My name is Volix, and today I'll be making a tier list of the best HWID spoofers. Now, since you're in this video, then you most likely know what I'm talking about. But of course, in the case you don't, a HWID spoofer is a program that is meant to change your serial numbers on your computer, aka your hardware identity, also known as HWID. Now, people use this program either for safety or to stay unbanned in games, but also for removing bans, because advanced anti-cheats like Vanguard anti-cheat, Ricochet anti-cheat, Battle.net anti-cheat ban your hardware serial numbers, like your serial number on your motherboard, your CPU, and so on.
Okay.
And for you to stay unbanned, you would need a proper HWID spoofer, one that has great security, great support, a private driver, an easy procedure, and the price for all of this. That is how we will determine which one is the best and which one is the worst based on this information. So getting started, we have our chart here, S being the best and D being absolute garbage. And for our first rating, we got Ghosty hardware spoofer. Well, about this one, it's a spoofer I personally used and does not work for most users. I gotta say, it gets detected all the time, causing delay bans. And to explain, delay bans are those kind of bans where the spoofer initially unbans you, but eventually, not too long from spoofing, any anti-cheat would pick up on the fact that you use a HWID spoofer, which results in a ban, also known as a delay ban, similar to a ticking bomb. It also requires you to factory reset your computer, which is very old-fashioned, making you lose all your files for nothing, which is something they never mentioned before buying the actual spoofer. Imagine factory resetting your computer and the spoofer doesn't even work. Garbage. D tier. Moving on, we got Impact Vanguard's VMAX hardware spoofer. Well, now this spoofer works for all computers, and I know that for a fact. It is the only undetected spoofer, making anti-cheats believe you actually bought a new computer instead of planting a ticking bomb. This spoofer is extremely easy to use. I personally also use this one. All you have to do is press a button that cleans all your ban traces and then click the spoof button and done. You're unbanned. No need for factory resets or whatever. It also has amazing features such as automatically flash your BIOS, which is insane, saving you a lot of time doing that stressful task, and it works on motherboards like HP or Asus. They even offer a refund if it doesn't work, but you shouldn't rely on that, because the spoofer is going to work 99% for anyone. Amazing. S tier. And before we continue, I just want to mention that this is not propaganda for any type of brand included in this video. This is not promotional, just pure honesty in a scummy market. Up next, we got Solaris hardware spoofer. Now, there's not much to say about this one. Used it maybe once or twice. I gotta say, I didn't really have problems with it. I don't really know how it performs nowadays. Could be worse. But based on reviews and personal use, I can say it's a good spoofer if you're a video game cheater. It gets pretty frequent updates and it works for all computers. So whether you use HP, Asus, or Gigabyte, it's an A tier. Nice. Moving on, we got Aqua spoofer. Now, this HWID spoofer is a decent one. I was around by the time they released. That was a funny story. They were asking me for a video, and I was asking them, okay, how do you do your business? And they say, oh, well, we buy keys from this guy and then the software from this guy. They are resellers, so you might need to get your license key replaced all the time, and sometimes the spoofer can be good or bad, depending who they resell from. I typically avoid those kind of sellers, and so should you. But ultimately, it's a 50-50, so unless you're willing to take a gamble, it's a C tier. Up next, we have Report.lol HWID spoofer. Okay, now this one. Ooh-wee, damn. We got a very good temporary HWID spoofer. It has fast updates, great stability, and not to mention performance. But unlike Impact, this thing is more of a sheep than a goat, but it's still mad. And that is because it is a temporary spoofer, meaning that you have to spoof every single time you play, and that can be extremely expensive. So to lower down the hype a bit, this requires a monthly subscription, and it might get detected once every 6 months, which is actually really good for a spoofer, especially because the fact that these other spoofer providers get detected all the time. For this reason, I'll give it an S tier. Great spoofer if you got the money and time. Up next, we have Verse hardware spoofer. Now, Verse, it's a decent spoofer. They have great support. They are friends of mine. I know those guys. I love them. But the spoofer works once in a sometimes. And you need to adjust a bunch of settings, which can take hours to get unbanned if you don't know much about computers. And what we are looking for here is a quick and efficient solution. C tier. Moving on, we have spinbot.gg. I've been in contact with them a few times. You know, Spinbot is great. They have many services other than a spoofer, which I guess doesn't make it the main priority for them. Their spoofer is garbage. It barely works. You again have to do a lot of settings, and it doesn't work for all computers. And at the same time, there are brands like Impact, Vanguard, which also have multiple products but doesn't focus only on one of them. So that would place Spinbot on a C tier. Moving on, we have unbanned.gg. Now I know for a fact some of you have been waiting to hear about this one. Now I have used unbanned.gg and I've used it for a long time, but that was a long time ago. Nowadays they have a decent spoofer, but at the same time it has been detected multiple times lately, but yet it's a great solution for many people. Advanced features, so unless you're not okay with spoofing each time you get banned, it's an A tier. And the last on our list will be Sync Spoofer. Now these guys are trying as much as they can. It's another temporary spoofer like Report.lol, and they actually do refunds like Impact Vanguard's VMAX hardware spoofer, but it doesn't work most of the time. Like, come on Sync, you gotta put the focus in the right place. It's a spoofer, it's meant to work. So yeah, you might as well just buy it. 50% you waste your money, or 50% you waste your time. No in between. C tier. However, we do have a special mention, and that would be the Vine hardware spoofer. This spoofer works for most people, but it gets detected. Now the Vine, they're the champions of what we called delay bans earlier, except they take it to another level that's just humiliating, making you buy the spoofer each time again and again. I think that would be some sort of marketing scheme. They unban you for a little while, then they ban you again so you can buy it again. I don't understand. And it also requires you to factory reset your computer, making you lose all your files once again, which they never mention, and is very out of fashion. This is disgusting. D tier. And one more thing I heard is that if you complain, you will get banned from their server, just like many other providers in this list, but I'm not gonna give names. Ghosty. So yeah, if you're gonna say your personal experience, you are gonna get silenced for it. But I, the voice of people, have spoken. Beware. And this is what our tier list looks like. Please be aware when buying software in a marketplace like this. No two sellers are the same. Everyone has their own thing going on, and other than the ones I mentioned, there are many more. I recommend you sticking to my list and sticking to the best. From Impact Vanguard's HWID Spoofer to something like Ghosty's HWID Spoofer, I would say make the right pick. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Be cautious and keep your eyes open, and I'll see you in the next one.